Hi, my Wise Astrology Tribe, Cosmic Insight Astrology. This is Christina. Welcome back to my channel. Today podcast, I'm going to analyze for you the new moon in Aries, which is going to take place actually on March 21st. And I erected the chart in the United States, Miami. So I erected it at 1323. So don't mind the whole system over here, but we're going to analyze the energy. We're going to analyze the planets and the aspects between. So as we start the podcast all the time, as I start the podcast all the time, I always talk about the moon. The moon is your emotion. The moon actually represents our feelings. That is our subconscious. That is our tears, what we cry. That is also femininity and representing dogs, apples, all the public. And also it's representing the way we are mothering ourselves or we were mothered. And it's also representing the way you are mothering your inner child as well, or your children. So it's also actually rules the silver and silver investment as well, if you want to know a little bit about the financial part of the moon. So let's move forward and let's talk about what is the new moon. The new moon is when the sun and the moon is merged together, the lovers, the male and the female energy, the father and the mother, and then it's a new beginning. So it always brings in new opportunities. The moon itself rules Cancer and rules the fourth house, and fourth house is representing actually our homeland. It's representing our living situation. It's representing our mother. It's representing, like emotion or roots, the foundation of your life. Okay, so let's talk about something else here. Let's talk about what degree the new moon going to take place. It's still in the very first degree. So it's 0 degree and actually 50 minutes. So it's on the world axis. World axis is karmic. It's very pivotal. It's a total new beginning for all of us. And Aries rules the first house, and Aries ruled by Mars. And this new moon take place in Aries. So actually, in this time, when the new moon going to appear, we will need to concentrate on ourselves. Actually, like how we represent ourselves to society, how we represent our company, what is our business profile. And actually, you have to be aware of your body. You have to have some kind of self-awareness over here. It's going to affect our self-images or behavior and, our identity and vitality as well. So let's see what kind of aspect this moon going to make. So look at that. It's going to sextile Pluto. It's going to square Mars, which is actually the lord of this new moon, and it's going to oppose Ceres, asteroid Ceres. All right, so let's talk about the sextile first. Sextile is a Venusian energy, so it's all comfort and love. It's really, really auspicious. It's not without challenges, but it's auspicious. So the sextile over here going to represent, and Pluto is ready actually in 2 days to move and make an amazing pivotal change and going to Aquarius the next 2 days. So Pluto actually is 29 degrees and 58 minutes in Capricorn. It's life-changing, it's life-altering. And, it's actually going to represent a transformative new beginning for the collective itself, because the moon represents the public, as I said before, mentioned before. So for the public, it is a pivotal, life-changing experience. The new moon is taking place actually on the spring equinox as well. And look at the balance between the sun and the moon. They merge together, just like the equinox at spring. It is like the length of the days and the nights are equal right now. So that is the perfect symbiosis, the perfect yin and yang, yeah, right? And sextiling with this transformative Plutonian energy, which is rules all the taboos, shared resources, and it's phoenix. It is like, rising from ashes kind of symbolism of Pluto here. Also rules the underworld. It's Hades. It rules the underworld. It's obsession, sexuality, death, as I said, abortion, surgery. So the detective inside and within. So because of the moon is your subconscious, it could represent like we are going to have some kind of clairvoyant ability during this new moon, or we're going to be more aware like what is going on around us. We want to make more researches. We're not going to be fooled easily, because Pluto sees really, really deeply. Pluto is not surfacing. It's going down to the root and analyzing everything, doing its research, and actually going to Aquarius really soon, like within 2 days. The science over here is already coming up, and the change in science with this new moon. So it is pivotal, definitely. So changing in our emotion, becoming really deep and not superficial with our emotions. We're going to whatever we feel that day, 2 days before, 2 days after, it's going to be deep. It's going to be a deep feeling. Doesn't matter if it's happiness or sadness, it's gonna be very, very deep. All right, so let's see what else is going on that day. So actually, as I said, it's the equinox, and it is definitely a new beginning. It's also marking the astrological new year. So Happy New Year to everyone. That is the time to celebrate. This is the time to buy beautiful purple flowers in your house and make some kind of good witchy spells with cinnamon. Make sure you put a little bit of cinnamon in your coffee in the morning. And in my previous videos, I mentioned during the new moon, and especially in spring equinox, I always do a cinnamon spell, which representing abundance and health. So from outside of my door, I actually, in a little crystal ball, I put ground cinnamon and I blow it inside. Doesn't matter if you have pet. A lot of people concerned about pet. Cinnamon doesn't harm your pet, and you don't have to blow in like tons of cinnamon, but just like what is representing abundance, luck, and health for you. All right. Okay. So this one, because it's ruled by Mars, and the lord of this new moon is Mars, actually it's squaring with its lord. And Mars is also ready finally to leave Gemini. It's really, really, it was very aggressive over here, and Mars is still out of bond, and it's still going to be out of bond almost until end of May. And so it's very active. It's really crazy. But in Gemini, it's brought in a lot of respiratory illnesses. It could be like statistically, most likely the injuries of arms and legs, so the limbs went up as well. And Gemini is a fire. It's an air, so it's feeding this fire. And because Mars is out of bound, it is really a big flame over here. Square in astrology, it's also a Martian energy. So it's almost like it's a double Martian energy and actually fueled with that air. So it's actually feeding the flame. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and out of bound. So there it's going to be not only deep feelings, but also it's going to be we're going to be angry in general, people in general. So the news around us going to make us to think deeply, to feel deeply, and also it's going to make us angry and argumentative as well. So we all will have to be careful what we are going to put on social media, who are we going to talk to our loved ones, with our children, with our mother, or with our neighbor, because Gemini is representing neighborhood, friends, our siblings. So it's all there. So definitely in certain areas, we will need to see what and how we are talking. And Mars is actually the warrior within. So it could actually implement some kind of situation like you're going to brainstorm and you're going to get a lot of information. And because of you want to do everything very fast, you might not going to process the information as it is. So there is a slightly danger in it to actually miscommunicate or hurt somebody's feeling, or actually you don't understand what they are saying, and that's why you get angry because you are fast. Mars is out of bond, and that's like the way you are thinking, it's not relevant right now. So careful with that. Ask again before you make any assumption about somebody saying something. Please ask again. Don't get mad. Don't have any resentment, because that's really, really, like sicken the body and sicken the soul. All right, what else is going on during this new moon? So during this new moon, we also have another aspect, and that's Ceres. And Ceres actually is the goddess of grains and the grain field. So it rules Virgo. And Ceres is wisdom, Ceres is motherhood, but also, a little bit of loss over here, because I always mention Ceres lost her daughter. Hades kidnapped her daughter. And what means, what does it mean? So it's always when it's this opposition going to appear in astrology, opposition as a Saturnian energy, and Saturn is restriction, it's fear. So there is going to be some kind of fear actually in us, for example, and because of Virgo rules like the daily routines, and the news that we will get around the new moon, it could actually change our daily routine. It could change our habit. It could affect actually our health or nutrition or public services, for example, because Virgo actually rules public service. And or actually Ceres is in Libra over here. So Libra is everything with relationship. Ceres rules Virgo, but in Libra, very early degrees Libra. So it's representing like we also feared for our relationship or partnership. We also feared actually for, like, for example, some of us might going to have our open enemies coming against us. And it could be also some kind of issue with commitment. You might want it to get married, but you right now getting cold feet. That could represent this as well. So something with agreements, like inner peace, could be challenged also, because Ceres, Libra also representing peace, and Ceres could be like the inner peace could be actually challenged or feared somehow. And then because of rules Virgo, that's why also it could indicate like some kind of issue with our daily routine, with our public service, with our health system, and general fear of illness as well. For example, because it's a Saturnian energy, some people might going to get like an intense cold, some kind of flu, or like just chest cold or something like that as well. Okay. So what else can we talk about here? Yes, let's talk about some remedies, and let's give some kind of really great advice for the hard aspect here. So because of the equinox is starting and the spring starts with this new moon, there it's a lot of optimism and opportunity coming up, right? Because of spring is everything is starts to bloom, starts to, like grow, and the soil is fertile over here. So with this kind of energy, we can actually, first of all, very important, you don't wear anything red, you don't wear anything Martian energy. Hold on with the cayenne pepper and ginger or anything that is actually heating the body, herbs that is heating the body. You can use mint because mint actually is cooling it off and it's cooling down this kind of Martian energy. It's also good for respiratory issues as well, and sore throat or things like that. So yes, mint could be a good remedy over here. It could be also like, because anger is here, so you will need to find an outlet for your anger and for your emotion. But many times, like if you are running or if you're going to do something fast, like Mars is fast and Mars is out of bound, you can hurt yourself. So most likely you will have to find a way to channel your anger, to find an outlet for your anger, but on a more like calming way. So for example, if it has to be sport, then it could be some capoeira or some kind of, it could be karate, it could be, but not running, not rollerblading, not crazy, fast, like horseback riding could be also an issue over here, because that is fast, it's speeding. Don't speed with the cars. Make sure right now you are choosing an outlet which is calmer, any kind of sport which is actually make you calm. And yes, mint as an herb, St. John's wort also can be really, really beneficial for that out of bound energy. Valerian root, lavender, anything with calming effect, ashwagandha could be really good during this new moon. What about this sextile energy, that Venetian energy, Plutonic energy? You might going to actually have some kind of craves for sweets or some kind of craves for intimacy, because Pluto is sexuality. And it could be like a crave of intimacy. And actually, that could be also a good channel out your energy, and having, sex could be a really good outlet to channel that kind of anger and energy. And then what about Ceres? So because of its grain field, and it could be fear of I'm not going to have enough money to put food on the table for my family, it could represent like start a garden if you can. So even if you are living in an apartment in a big city, you still can have that kind of hydroponic little gardens where you are capable to actually have your own, like herbs, botanical herbs there. So you can start that during this new moon, and then actually it could seize that kind of negative energy around that issues over here. Or if you have any kind of fear to losing a loved one, or have some kind of issue with anything, with peace, inner peace, then use some kind of Venetian stones. It could represent like, all right, so I'm going to use maybe green stones, because anything emerald, jade, green jade, aventurine, those kind of stones representing Venus over here. Venus also sweets as well. So it could be like, I'm going to do a smoothie, a sweet smoothie. And, like you're going to actually have that crave under control. But definitely plant a garden would be really good, because Virgo is actually an earth energy, and Ceres rules Virgo. So down to earth, or if you can go to the beach and walk on the soil, on the shore, definitely get connected to nature, get grounded with nature. And Libra is air. So out in the air, get connected with nature. That is actually really going to seize this Saturnian energy over here. And as I said before, you can do the cinnamon spell. You can also write down your wishes. And usually I burn my wishes during the new moon and let that go out. And I put the ashes in the soil. And I also pour water on it because of the moon itself representing water. The sun itself like burning. So the energy is going up to the ether and listened by the universe. And then a little bit of water poured on it. All right. So that is the remedies over here. This is the energy of the new moon. Make sure you are centered. Make sure you are not going to start fight. That just don't start fight, that's for sure. And then everything going to just turn out the way it's supposed to. So, and big, big, big day because of the Mars is going to leave Gemini. Finally, we're going to get rid of that nasty respiratory issues that we had here. And also when Pluto going to enter and ingress Aquarius, there is going to be a lot of demolishing and energy in general in humanity. So at the very beginning of the 2 years, it could indicate a lot of death, unfortunately, because it's humanity. But it's stabilizing something beautiful. We were born here this time to have this change in our life. And we were born here, we chose to born. So just hold on to it and use and utilize the energy for your benefit. Because you always can utilize it for your benefits, no matter what. Even if it's the worst aspect there, it still could work out really positively for some. So stay there and check out my previous videos about the structure is crumbling. And also I have videos about Saturn moving to Pisces and Pluto moving to Aquarius. I also have predicted the next 10 years, and I have a long video about that. So just check it out and make sure you are get tuned. All right, guys, if you love my podcast, please don't hesitate to subscribe and comment below. Let me know how did it work out for you? What's happened during the new moon for you? What did you do to prevent the inauspicious aspect? And what did you do to actually conserve over here the sextile between Pluto? What change came up during this new moon for you? So let me know below and subscribe, like, and share my videos so I can be help for your family and your friends as well. And I'm going to see you soon with the April videos. Thank you so much for your attention. Check out my website, www.urbanbeach.org. Till next time, see you in April.